Greetings from Southern California. I'm coming at you from the chilly weather of the southern end of the state. My name's Murphy Daly at Written by Murphy, AV veteran, project manager, and you are joining us for the AV Life.
Hey, this is Nancy Blanchard, and I'm with Bose Professional, as well as residing out of here, San Jose, California, and it's dry. So we don't have all of that crazy rain and things going on right now, right, Murphy? It seems to have settled in, and you are listening to and watching the AV Life.
Hey, James here, writer for the Higher Digital Magazine, the IT and AV column, HETMA board member. Google me, you'll find me, and you are watching and listening to AV Live.
And I'm your host, Tim Van Wert from Rutgers University, from HETMA, from higheredav.com, and from the great state of New Jersey, where we finally got some real snow. And you are watching and listening to the AV Life. All right. Well, you know what? Before we get into any banter, I'm going to bring our guests in, and we're just going to get things going because this is the HETMA Takeover right before the HETMA conference. So, ladies and gentlemen, our listening audience, I'd like to welcome first up Mike Pedersen. How are you, Mike? Oh, and he's muted.
False start on the offense.
All right,
5 yards.
we'll try this again. All right, so I'm doing well, thank you. I'm Mike Pedersen. I'm the Audiovisual Experience Manager at Iowa State University. I'm also the one-year at-large board member for the great organization of HETMA.
Well, we're glad to have you back yet again, Mike.
Yep, I'm a regular guest. So
yes, and clearly a glutton for punishment from us. So, well, speaking of punishment, because I think I've punished this gentleman quite a few times, a few other episodes. Mr. Ryan Gray is also with us tonight. Ryan, how are you, sir?
Good. How are you, Tim? Thank you.
Oh,
yeah.
That's
the joke. If I'm on the show, it never actually comes out, and that's probably a wise choice. I'm not going to question that. That's probably good.
Well, this one has to come out on time. Like, so don't.
Good deal. But yeah, I'm Ryan Gray, Director of Technology Engagement and Experience at Yavapai College in gorgeous Northern Arizona. Proud to serve on the board of HETMA and host of a brother podcast on the Higher Ed AV network, the AVIT Amplifier.
Nice. Well, welcome back to the show as well. James, wait a minute. So wait,
we do.
So we got the 1 year, the 2 year, and the 3 year at-large members, and then the program. Oh, excuse me. I'm the programs chair for HETMA, former 1 year at-large board member as well, and also part of the initial founding committee for HETMA. I've talked about this over time after time. I am so it's like having a child and seeing it grow up, because that's what HETMA has been like, seeing it from where Joe and BC first conceived it. Oh, wow, I'm really going down this road. And now seeing it, we're at 5 years now. Like we're a 5-year-old group, and we have grown up into a nice sized organization doing some wonderful things that are out there. But before we go down that road, Nancy, Murphy, James, how are we all doing tonight?
Peachy keen?
Doing well.
Good night.
It's a good night. That's what I want to hear.
Right.
So that's good.
Well, we got a good crew on tonight. It'll be fun.
Yes, this is gonna be a good night, and it's always a good time when we have HETMA here. I mean, I know when James and I are here, HETMA is here, but we're always
nobody.
Now get out of here.
Come
on. We have Mr. 40 under 40 here, so but yeah, you've definitely gotten your recognition, and it's been well deserved, James, over the course of the last couple of years. So Yeah, you're not a nobody. You could be BC. You could be the most popular unknown person. I think that's what he said, or something to that effect.
Yeah, it's either the most known unknown or the most unknown known person.
Something like that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So, HETMA, as everyone knows, the Higher Education Technology Managers Alliance, because for whatever reason in the early days, I could never get it through my head that it was Alliance. We have some, we are, for those who don't know, and actually, you know what? I'm not going to explain this because I'm the host of the show. So I'm going to leave it to one of the three of you all to explain what HETMA is, because people hear me all the time. So who wants to give the
You know what? No, actually, hold on. I think, I want to hear, because I want to hear how a manufacturer sees HETMA.
You're
So,
absolutely,
yes.
yeah. I'd like to hear it. Nancy, let's hear your description of HETMA.
Okay. Well, I explain it all the time, especially internally, but to others as well, is that HETMA is a well-organized, becoming soon an international, not just national North American community of colleges and universities, educational institutions that allow to be able to share information amongst one another on what works, what doesn't work technology-wise. And it's a support system that if you are unsure and you've got retrofitting going on, upgrading, and not sure where to start, you folks have Slack channels, you have a forum of which you can feel comfortable to go and be able to reach out to folks. And you have a great booth, of which you're going to have a better booth at InfoComm. And hopefully we've got the DJ too, but it's a fun organization, but it's a well thought out organization. And I think it's something that hasn't been in the industry, and you folks just got together and decided, you know what, this is what's missing and this is what we need. And you've been successful with it so far.
So I'll jump in, so Nancy, thank you for that. What's awesome. And I love that you said well organized. Because, we do our best. It's all volunteer, right? It's all people who have full-time jobs in higher ed doing it as a side gig. But we did our roadshow in Arizona, and most of the attendees there, because Arizona hadn't been well trod, were not members, right? So we did a survey, and a majority of attendees, that roadshow was their first exposure to HETMA in any way. So I was like, okay, I have to explain what HETMA is in 5 minutes to people, because if I go any longer than that, it's too much. And if I had just had that explanation, that would have been awesome. So, you know what I'm saying? Thank you for that, and next time I'll just have you out to explain what it is and what we do.
We're just gonna cut that audio clip, and we're just gonna put it over to the HETMA site. So when you click on it, that's just Nancy's explanation.
When I think HETMA, the term that always comes to mind for me is advocacy. People always ask me, so what differentiates you from ETC, formerly CCMC, or the FX Technology Managers Council? I mean, there were organizations of higher ed folks before. So what makes HETMA different? And I think, one of the main missions of HETMA is to be the voice of higher education within the pro AV vertical. And so, we're out trying to promote among manufacturers, among integrators, what are the needs of higher ed and how can you better serve us? And so, we are definitely an advocacy organization.
But it's not just going after manufacturers for sponsorship, as that can happen with a lot of organizations. There's meaning to it. And that's what I really enjoyed, is the fact that you've got a program where, universities or colleges can evaluate product. Like you can generate a report, give it back something for the manufacturers to know, like, are we on the right track or aren't we? You know, a lot of them, you can just throw out a product, but does it necessarily mean that an end user is going to use it or know how to? You don't have time for your profs to be wasting in class, and then you're getting all the tickets generated and things. So
No, I think a key part of it, Nancy, that you said is to embody that part that we should be for the entire vertical, for the entire enterprise, right? That is we can't be successful in what we do if there aren't manufacturers delivering great technology for us to bring to bear. So we have a responsibility to the entire AV industry, and and HETMA tries to live that out and be not only an advocate there, but part of the entire ecosystem that is AV. And I think another defining factor from some of the other orgs out there, right, is HETMA 1 is free. And that's it, free and always will be, as a key part, and individuals are members, not schools. And so there are great orgs in higher ed, but they have dues. Some of them are high, expensive dues, and schools they don't have the budgets to do that. So HETMA says, you are the member, Tim's the member, James the member, Mike's the member, and that will never cost you anything because we're better as a community than we are, separated.
Yeah. So how many, I remember in talking to James when we were at Infocom last year, how many signed up because they had just discovered about HETMA? You were having daily, right?
I mean, when we were recording, I think my phone was blowing up with people signing up. As we were recording the AV Life there. So I don't know how, I can't give you a number.
I felt bad for Craig, because I know his phone was blowing up all week long. Yeah. Craig's our membership chair, and I want to say we had like the second highest number of badge scans, I think, for our size booth or something like that. It was like,
the stat is, on the first day of Infocom, HETMA as a small booth in the back was in the top 10.
That's what it was.
Badge scans.
Yeah.
On the first day of Infocom.
That's what it was. That's the stat. Thank you, Ryan. I totally was.
Well, I'm fine with that becoming like, the fish was this big. No, it was this, but the size of the fish you caught gets bigger and bigger. Yeah. But some people paid a lot of money to do real big booths in the front, and it was the little party in the back that got a lot of attention.
Yeah. But I think that's what really, I think, encompass HETMA is for everybody. Yes, we are out there for the higher ed folks. We're the voices for the higher ed folks, but we are partners with manufacturers. We are partners with integrators. We are out there. We don't turn people away and push them away. And when we get called out, and this is what really, I think, set HETMA apart for me, is for two things, and it's kind of a segue here. But the first part is, when we get called out, we don't just put words, we actually put action behind it, like the PRISM Scholarship. And now we also have the Aurora Scholarship, and we have other initiatives going on, because we saw, as members, or other members called us out saying, as an org, hey, you're not doing this, or you should be doing this. And we moved those initiatives forward. But to me, what really, like, why I am so ingrained with HETMA is a virtual conference.
Yep.
I attend a lot of conferences. I have webinars and stuff. As everyone knows, Renee would be saying it right away now, is I use the hashtag always be learning. HETMA virtual conference is probably one of the best conferences I ever go to. And what I like about it is, one, it's free, because again, it's a HETMA. One of our core principles is accessibility for everybody. So the virtual conference is free, costs no money to go to, but also is, unlike other conferences, and I'm not saying they're wrong, but unlike other conferences, we don't put out a call for proposals. We talk to the members and go, hey, what do you want to hear? What do you want to learn? And then we go out and find the SMEs on it. So it is a lively discussion. Every year that we have the virtual conference, we will have a presenter who probably get 2 slides in and their slide decks is out the window and the conversation goes off the rail because you have detailed, in-depth conversations with people who want to know and want to learn. It's not what I never feel I'm being talked at a HETMA conference, unlike some other webinars and some other conferences where you sit there and they're just talking at you and I don't feel that ever at a HETMA conference.
Well, the other thing I love about the HETMA conference is that, again, hashtag virtual before it was cool, right? I mean, from the very beginning, the very first HETMA conference was all online, and for a reason, right? It was specifically because we know a lot of schools and people in higher ed don't have the budget to travel or have the money to pay conference fees. And so we wanted to be able to make this again as accessible to our vertical as possible. And having a virtual event allows people to get the advantages of going to a conference without having to have that expense of travel. And so, again, for those of you who don't know, we were doing virtual conferences pre-COVID.
Yep.
Not because of anything other than we wanted it to be the least expensive method, free basically, for people to get that conference experience within higher ed.
Yeah, and I think that what was good is the support system during COVID, so that all you technology managers could come together and you could have, mindful discussions, and continue on, and, what were you experiencing, and what were you gonna do, and that. So it's a genuine organization. Honestly, it's genuine people. It's not cliquey. And I think that's what makes you successful.
Yeah, Nancy, I think so I now, as someone who, is on the board and proud to serve and all that, I was during COVID that I first got involved in it for that very reason. That is, I need to find people struggling the same way I am, succeeding the same way I am. And lo and behold, there they were. And that's the sort of thing, like, if you are the sort of person out there that goes, I need to get connected, come in and welcome, you want to help, like, we will put you in charge of something big today if you want to jump in and do it, because there's no pretense about any part of it. We're all volunteers. So anyone who wants to work for the betterment of others, like, we will turn you loose. Come on over.
Yeah. And I was like, this is a perfect time of year to get involved too, because we have the conference coming up right now. We have our elections that are coming up soon. So this is like the perfect time. If you've been coming to HETMA meetings, you've been sitting there listening to what we've been doing, and we meet virtually once a month too. So that's, there's limited in-person need, aside from, like, if you wanted to go and help us at Infocom, or if you wanted to go to a local conference or a regional event or something like that, but like for regular HETMA business, everything is virtual. So we want your voice, we want to hear what you have, like, even if you're from the smallest community college in like Nebraska, like, I want to hear it from you. I was going to pick on Iowa, but I didn't want to do that, Mike. So
we have a tremendously strong community college system here in Iowa.
Oh, I'm sure you do, but yeah. And I'm not picking on Nebraska either. It was just the other state that went to me for Middle America. So,
but someone that is from a small college, right?
Correct.
Like, I can attest to that, right? There's no one in HETMA who makes me feel like, because my spend is smaller, my voice is smaller. And that's a huge difference in that. So I don't know. I would agree with all that. It's a great time to get involved because, with Infocom on the way, if there's something you want to be involved in, like, and the virtual conference, like, it's coming, and I had a person from our roadshow that we just had, kind of reach out, like, hey, I know Infocom's coming, it's close to us in Arizona, here's some ideas of stuff you could, maybe do for HETMA. And I was like, I have good news. Here's the place to go get involved in the committee that does events. Here's when they meet. He was like, really? And he jumped in, and he's like on that committee, and he's like, I can be there early. I can help put the booth together. I can X, Y, and Z. Like, you can go from feeling disconnected to, you know, being right involved with people who do the same thing that you do. And not to change the subject, but is it possible that Renee's not here because the Chiefs
Yeah.
parade is tomorrow morning?
Oh, that's 100% why she's not here tonight.
100%.
I will say she said she was going to try, but she was getting settled in downtown before the
Lucky
parade
Mhm.
tomorrow.
I'll bet she
So-
was. Okay. Thank
But
you.
congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs on a back-to-back Super Bowl championships. But
It was
you know,
good. It was tight. I mean,
that was
Yeah.
that was
yeah.
really close.
It was hard for me to know who to cheer for. I normally would cheer for the Chiefs. You know, their location, they're as close to a home team as you get in Iowa. But Brock Purdy from Iowa State University was, of course, the quarterback for the 49ers. And so, you know, a lot of us were cheering for Brock too, as a Iowa State alum. So, you know, it was hard for me to choose allegiances on Sunday.
Yeah. So I'm just glad that now it's, you know, since the 49ers lost, that means that the Steelers and the Patriots are still the only two teams that have 6 Super Bowl championships. So I'm okay with that as a Steelers fan. I
I
can't
will
take
just
anything.
mention Brock Purdy is from Queen Creek, Arizona, southeast Phoenix area, where I lived for some time. So you know what I'm saying.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah. And there were 3 Rutgers players between the two teams that were participating in the Super Bowl. So
Wow.
yeah.
Any other claim to fame?
Nope.
Except for it happened where I live. So, I mean,
There you
I
go.
can-
Yeah,
I
there you
can see
go.
it
Yeah,
Everything, everything happens where you
Well,
live.
and to bring
Come
and to
on,
bring
man.
it into AV, I liked what the Sphere did with all the graphics and
Yeah.
everything for the Super Bowl. That was nice what they did. So it was it's always nice to see what they're come up with to how to utilize that display, because it's really essentially what it is.
even though it is kind of broken a little bit because some guy who goes around the country, maybe in the world, climbing things as a protest, climbed the spear and caused like $100,000 worth of damage.
Mm.
But,
Ooh.
yeah. So, but actually, I'll admit, I watched some of the game. I wasn't really into it. I know Renee's not here, so she can kill me later. I was kind of rooting against the Chiefs, and only for one reason and one reason alone is I'm sick and
Don't
tired
say
of
it.
hearing
Don't do it.
Taylor Swift.
No.
Sick and tired.
All right. All right.
Sorry,
John,
I'm just
for the
over it.
record, James, I think we
He
should
went
all
there.
congratulate Taylor Swift on her Super Bowl championship and her rookie season in the league.
Oh,
Right
there we
now,
go.
sir.
What I found the most interesting, and this is one thing I enjoy where I'm at now, is Friday. So my building hosted a NFL medical conference with actually the chief medical officer from the NFL and a couple Raiders and other high-end doctors. I learned so much at that conference by supporting that. And it's very interesting of what they do and how they have everything so dialed in. There was just at that Super Bowl alone 126 cameras that the medical professionals could access and view.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's not including everything else that's being broadcast and everything. They were just for the medical professionals, and they sit there and they track everything. They actually have GPS trackers on the players so they can tell how hard somebody gets hit.
Oh wow.
Accelerometers, yeah. And are those the same cameras that got the Dora the Explorer explanations of the penalties on camera?
Probably.
Or were those different ones?
I don't know.
I will say that I saw the coolest thing though, because they showed the guys that do the voices for SpongeBob and Patrick, and they have these like headgears that had an iPhone in front of them, and it was capturing their facial features, so it could be in like real time moving moving the animated characters, which I thought was the coolest thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and that's how simple it is nowadays.
You can do it so easily compared to what it used to be, right?
Yep. That's all
There's
it takes now.
LiDAR and everything, so you
Right.
can just do it.
Yeah, and like those days of like the little dots on the faces, because like I go back, I've been rewatching the Lord of the Rings series, so and that's what I always go back to is when they were using the motion capture for Gollum, and that he had those dots all over his face and the suit and everything. And it's like you don't even need that anymore. Like, I mean, obviously that is a little more defined, it's more precise, it's but you don't necessarily need that, and that's really cool.
I think that guy's like, I could have done this at home if we made the movie a little bit later.
Yeah,
I would have had
exactly.
to wear the skin tight uniform with the hey, it's my wife.
Hey.
Hey.
Crashing the AV light.
Yeah,
Photo
it's all right.
bomb.
Sorry, everybody.
That's okay. So yeah, it's always fun to see what they do for the Super Bowl, because like from an AV perspective, like it's almost like what's the next step that's gonna happen? Like what's the next thing that they're gonna bring out? So, and I'm glad that they did the Nickelodeon stuff too, because that was such a hit like during the regular season. So to bring it in and be able to make it accessible to kids, that's awesome. And the fact that it had a 6:30 p.m. start time was awesome. Well, it wasn't awesome.
It's 4:30 in the afternoon. It's great. You know what I'm saying? You East Coast people, come on west. James, better. You have to start earlier.
Yeah, it was
the overtime. The overtime didn't help, but
yeah.
But going to what you're talking about, the AV stuff, I actually remember reading now that I'm in AV and stuff. I was reading an article and trying to remember what Super Bowl it was. It was when it was at Atlanta, down there in Atlanta Stadium, and they were saying how I first read the article and they were complaining how the halftime show was horrible because of the audio, and then I was like, wait, I don't know what they're talking about. So I actually had to dive into it more, and they were saying that the audio was so good that you actually heard the band, and the band was horrible.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I forget who was playing. I just remember reading it. I'm like, what? I thought the audio was fine. Like, it's like, what are you talking about? This is supposed to be a state-of-the-art stadium. And then I reread the article. I'm like, wait, no, they're bashing the band, not the speakers.
Nice.
Well, I will say, I give all the credit to Usher, because he was definitely singing live, or at least it looked like he was. So he was out there dancing and skating, and
I asked one question because I went I think talk about the conference and some of the stuff in there, because I could talk Super Bowl all night. But is it depressing to anybody else to have like the artists of my youth now being featured on the Super Bowl as if they were the Rolling Stones of the generation before?
Yeah.
So funny you say that, Ryan, because one of my contacts out here posted saying, all Super Bowl halftimes were all our parents' bands. Now it's our band. We're the parents.
Yeah, we are the parents.
But it's
reality.
time to accept responsibility and just know that we are such cooler parents than our generation was.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
They didn't put Ludacris up there. You know what I'm saying? That was Luda.
So my 20-year-old kids still to this day say that 80s music is the best music. So I'm just gonna leave that there, right?
I've got an 18-year-old, and we went to a Matchbox 20 concert together, and she loves the stuff that came out when I was in high school. We could go down that whole rabbit hole that music has no time associated with it anymore.
My daughter calls it meme music. She just turned 15.
Meme
So she calls it
music.
meme music.
Yeah.
And she likes Hall & Oates.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I have to. So this is funny. So we had my son's Valentine's Day dance, and they asked me to DJ the event. So I'm up there with my laptop, and I'm playing the music and everything like that. My son comes running up the stage, and he comes up next to me. He goes, Dad, I want to Rickroll everybody. I'm like,
I know.
I'm like,
Yeah.
he's like, I want to play Rick Astley. They never give you up. I'm like, yeah. He goes, I'm like, you sure? He goes, yeah, I want to do that. But it's funny because my wife and I were talking. I was like, that just used to be a cool 80s song. And now it is a meme song as,
Yeah.
It's
and
become a
that's,
monolith.
and it
Can
went
we
over
all
like
agree?
it went over great when I played it. So it was,
Yeah.
Well, the irony
we
is the
all
old
agree?
our parents' songs were probably memes to us. We just didn't know how to say it that way. You know
That's
what I'm
true.
saying? Like
That's right.
That's true.
I feel
But-
like, doing the twist was also probably a meme. We just didn't have the language for it at the time.
Yeah.
Probably.
But can
That
we
makes
all
sense.
agree that if you can't pronounce the name of the band, you should not wear their T-shirt? I've actually seen
don't
kids
know.
wearing like
Okay.
Nirvana T-shirt, and they're like,
Yeah.
"This is my favorite T-shirt, but I have no clue who they are."
oh, jeez.
I think you should
Well,
not
that's
be
because
wearing it.
Tarjay and that make it popular, all of those older concert band type of t-shirts. They have no idea.
It's because their parents buy it for them.
Yeah, it could be.
Could be. But again,
you
you
go.
can't if you can't name one of their songs, you should not wear the shirt.
Well, to step away from the football, there is a tie-dyed T-shirt for the Lithuanian basketball team. I think in
Yeah.
1992.
I think it was
The
92,
Grateful
yeah, or
Dead,
94.
somewhere
94
around
would have
there.
94 was Atlanta. Was that Atlanta Olympics?
Well, the point is the Grateful Dead
Yeah.
sponsored that particular
Yeah.
group of people so they could get to the Olympics. I think it was that really special time when pro basketball could do Olympics and they had the dream team and all that. So my husband had this Grateful Dead tie-dye t-shirt and my daughter got a hold of it. She's like, "This is so cool. It's a piece of history." And then we're like, "No, it has holes in it." So we had to take it away where it would utterly have been destroyed. And as a piece of history, it deserved to be preserved. So I went and found a more recent redo of it, and she like wears that. So,
Nice.
Nice.
but she knows.
1996, by the way. So
Is it 6? Okay.
96.
All right.
So
Exciting time.
oh my Lord. Look at
Oh,
who is joining in
no.
on the podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
No.
Coming out of left
For
field.
the halftime show. Special guest brought to
I
you.
think it's a tag. I think it's
He's
gonna
a
be a tag
man.
in.
He's
It's
a
gonna be a
myth.
tag.
Hey.
And he's
It's
not
the
even
way himself.
he's not even home. And he's still jumping in.
It is the Joe. It is the
I am not
way.
home.
Nope.
Wait, hold on. Wait, which way will make your video look better? Oh wait, James isn't in a car at a soccer tournament?
Yeah,
He's about
Not
exactly.
yet, but I
Not
will
yet.
be leaving.
Now that you're here,
Nope.
he's gonna have to go. Huh?
I do have to bounce,
Well,
so
James hates me, so it's okay.
I
I was actually
mutual-
surprised that James was on a board of directors meeting today.
I,
It's about time. After 3 years, he finally decided to show up and do his duty. It's okay.
I know how it is. I'm as Tim said, 40 under 40, all this stuff. It's hard to. Everyone wants my attention.
Yeah.
Wait, you're
I
under
gotta-
40?
Not
Well, he
anymore.
was.
You look like 75.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
Oh wow.
I'll take 75. I'm good with that. All right.
Sorry,
Well,
I didn't mean to come in hot, but it's how I do it.
no. Hey,
No,
no,
that's okay.
Fine. And I gotta go out. So you
there
all
you
have
go.
a good night.
Well,
Right,
thanks,
have a good
James.
night,
Have a good night.
James.
Good seeing you, James. Good to see you
Yep.
twice in a week.
There we go.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Joe Way, or excuse me, Dr. Joe Way has joined us. And
Lord
Doctor.
Doctor.
Lord Dr.
No,
Joe
let's
Way.
be clear. He didn't go to evil medical school to be called Mister. Thank you very much.
Exactly.
Damn straight.
So where are you, Joe?
I am at Barney's Beanery in Westwood.
Mm,
Okay.
That's a long way from
Yeah.
home, brother.
I was
Yeah.
reading about
Well,
that.
it's right outside the UCLA campus.
Oh,
We had
okay.
we had a team meetup tonight, and it just
Nice.
ended. And so I saw Murphy Daly join the HETMA community. So therefore,
Like, wait a
I
minute.
saw.
Yep.
I'm like, wait a minute. There is there's something going on. So if it weren't
Make
for
sure the
Murphy
quick
Daly
approval.
joining the HETMA community, I probably wouldn't have here.
You
By the way, this is a
multitasking.
great margarita.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Live membership updates of HETMA. So even as you're listening right now,
We will not. Did we already talk about why has Murphy only joined now? After how many years has she heard about HETMA?
Because I
Touche.
thought I wasn't allowed to. Because I'm not technically employed by
No.
a higher education institution.
Well, thank
Everyone
you
is
for bringing
allowed.
that up.
And
Yeah.
now here's the time that we can say the gates have been thrown open. All are welcome. So I finally did, yes. And I'm
Sorry,
glad
can
that
I do
you
a
did
technical
so fast.
timeout?
Mhm.
Nancy, it's so good to see you. How
Yeah.
you doing?
I'm peachy keen.
That's good. Okay, that's it. I need to do that. I need to
I was
point out
thinking about
stuff.
you about golf. You know, it's been so long since I've golfed, so maybe we need to.
I'll be
set
up in the
something
San Francisco area in April. Are we going to hit a golf course?
Oh,
The
yes,
best
that is
golf
a
is in
possibility.
Scottsdale. The best golf
The
is in
best-
Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm just saying that.
That is
Just
true. That is a true statement, Ryan.
saying. Mhm.
But I will be in San Francisco in April for a UC.
The best golf is where
technical.
you are.
You could be in Scottsdale in March. I'm pretty sure about that.
The best golf is when you're doing it on a work day.
It's not a joke.
Yes. Ryan, I golfed. I still have the plaque, the key thing, the whatever on my golf bag, and it was in Phoenix. And I can't remember it. Now I'm gonna have to go into my storage and find it and take a picture for you.
Mhm.
That was the greenest golf course, the surrounding of all the dry desert and everything else. But you had this gorgeous, well manicured golf course.
We have tons of them out here.
Am I allowed to
on
do a second technical timeout?
No.
Are we
No.
recording? Because I did not get
You are recording.
We are recording. Are we still live?
Watch
Yeah, we're
out.
still,
Yes,
yeah,
we
we're still
are.
recording.
Yes,
Yes, we are.
Yes,
We're
we
Just
recording.
consider that
Yeah.
you're always being recorded.
Yeah,
Joe.
we got totally derailed because we started talking about Super Bowl. We were actually heading really well on HETMA, and then we got derailed and started talking about Super Bowl.
Yeah, but I wore my Taylor Swift shirt.
Yeah, that's
Super
what
Bowl,
I'm saying.
So we're good.
Oh my.
So, Joe, you join me in congratulating Taylor Swift on her Super Bowl victory in her
Absolutely.
rookie league, in her rookie season.
I am so happy that Taylor Swift won her first Super Bowl in her rookie season.
It's a good thing James hung up.
Maybe one day she'll be famous.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I don't know if
was
you
the people-
heard, but I heard that Taylor Swift's boyfriend was going to play sports at an Usher concert this weekend. I wasn't sure if you heard that or not.
And I heard she was married.
By the way,
she's
that was
dating
a
him for the money.
horrible half.
Ooh,
That was a
fire.
horrible That was a horrible. Oh, yeah. But that was a horrible halftime show. We got to how bad that halftime show was.
I didn't like it. I'm so happy you said that, Joe.
Even for
I did
us
not
Gen
like it.
Xers, it was we were supposed to like it, and it
got
horrible.
It got better. Like it struggled. It was a slow.
It got better the
start,
second
but
it ended.
better.
That's when it got better.
Wow.
The hot take from Joe Way.
There's your episode title, right there. If you were AV Super Friends, there's your episode title.
There's the episode.
It got better the second it ended.
They got better.
Mike, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Do you notice I already came in and took over Tim's show?
Yeah,
Of course.
That's
we would expect no less, Joe.
Yeah,
I mean,
right,
that's
exactly.
just kind of your MO,
See,
right?
and this is how he gets demoted back to guest mode, and he just
exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
It's all good, but you got to admit, this is a great background.
that is really nice.
It's a nice background.
Nice.
All right, Tim, what are we
yes.
talking about? You may have your show.
Well, okay. Well,
let's just clarify. What we were going to talk about was the virtual conference,
Yes.
a great session talking about the Aurora Scholarship there, and the open things for the PRISM Scholarship. Would you like to assist Tim in doing that, Joe?
Yeah, I don't know anything about our conference. That's why we have a great HETMA group who can now take over the reins. But you know what? No, let's talk about this for a second. Hold on. This is not a laughing matter. I was literally just on a call about an hour ago about HETMA. And they asked me a question about our HETMA conference. And I said the same thing. I don't know a dang thing about what's going on with our HETMA conference. But this is what's beautiful about the organization. It has grown to a point that it can now handle itself and it's taken a life that it doesn't need to be the Joe show. We have been talking about that for how many years, and now it truly is. And that's what's amazing. And I looked at our registrations, and we have gone up 100 registrations in the last 48 hours.
There you
Yes.
48
There you
hours.
go.
And that
There
had
you go.
nothing to do with me. And that is what's amazing. And that's why we have the greatest organization that has ever been part of the AV industry.
There you
Period.
go.
Mic drop.
Mic
Yep.
drop. There it is. There it is. So, and it's funny because, you know, we all have our regular duties, you know, within our respective organizations.
Wait,
but
no.
have that.
We have our other duties as assigned.
Oh,
You stole
good
it from me.
time.
I
No,
was
he-
going
He
no,
was
there.
setting it up. And
That's where he was going, Joe, and then you just pull it away from him.
we all knew. Oh, Joe.
Come on.
It's like I was going for the layup, and then you took the ball away from me, and you did the
Uh-huh.
layup. It's like that was not an assist. Like that
So
was.
was
You
it
know
the
what?
Joe show?
You know what?
The Joe show.
You don't do an assist when you have LeBron James in the game.
Oh my God.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
That's it
Okay.
right there.
Wow. So whoever is host capabilities, can you mute him, please? Whoever is host
yeah.
of this.
So yes, the theme of the conference is other duties as assigned. So because that's what we all have, those bottom lines there that there goes, and Ryan had to jump off as well. So see, and
Damn.
Joe scared away Ryan Gray.
It's only 6:30.
So yeah, we all have that line in our contracts or whatever it is, or even if it's not like in black and white in our contract, we know that that's part of what we do. And we have a great lineup of speakers and of breakout sessions. And as we were starting to talk about earlier, you know, we had the beauty of the HETMA conference is that we are unique, and like Mike was saying, we're doing it before it was cool. You know, we allow for that dialogue to happen. The Zoom chat is the best thing we ever have, I think. You know,
It's on fire.
It's constantly burning. You know, so there's always that conversation, and it's a great opportunity, and it's and we also said it's free. So we're going to say that again. It's free to join HETMA. It's free to be a part of the conference. You know, and just, we are here for you. So it's Wednesday, February 21st, Thursday, the 22nd, and Friday, the 23rd, all here in the month of February. So as you're listening to this, over this weekend that I'm releasing it, you still have time to register and join us in on the fun and excitement.
Wait, you actually released your episodes?
Yes, I am actually releasing this episode. And it'll be before the conference starts. So that's also a plus.
Yeah.
What's the over under on that one?
It's happened. It's a
Wow.
sure.
Oh,
it's
no,
a sure thing.
It's a sure bet.
Yeah,
He's gonna definitely get it.
it's gonna
busted.
happen.
So, I
So
have to say that.
So yeah, I know you like to bust my balls on it. It's fine. So I'm looking at this schedule, and it's everything's on hetma.org. So if you want to really look into it, look a little bit more. We've already been kind of going for a while here. So let's just point out. So we have a great breakout session about neurodiversity in AV. You know, that's gonna be, and I say that also only because I'm the moderator of that of that session. Joe will be doing some speaking. So if you want to hear more from Joe, not on this podcast, you can join us there. So, or maybe I just scared away people.
Every single morning coffee is me, and the opening keynote is me moderating, not me speaking, but me moderating. So you actually get to hear wise people. And then we're going to close this down.
Yeah. And I think what's really cool about this year with the conference is that we're moving into the instructional design pieces a little bit more too. I know that's actually the day one keynote is the user experience holistics. And that's really cool because like I think we're expanding more out of just the hardware piece and into the software zone that there are others of us within the higher ed AV space that are responsible for that. So, you're going to get to hear from a lot of our manufacturer partners, Panasonic, Aurora, Crestron, and others of our sponsors that they'll be popping up here and there. Mike, is there any other ones you want to highlight particularly?
Oh, one of the things I love about HETMA and the HETMA conference is that we always highlight our partner organizations too. So we make an effort to have opportunities to highlight what happened at ISE, partnering with Avixa. We're gonna have a session where we highlight some of our fellow organizations that hold conferences, NWMET and MCUAV and ACCS, and we're gonna wave it, the women in AVIT, we're gonna give them an opportunity to come share. So we are, again, talking about an open organization. We love our partners, and we love being able to share about them also. So
yeah.
And we also,
and by the way, whoa.
Okay.
Mike is not allowed to talk about partners without pitching. Where is ETC next year, Mike?
Oh, there you go.
Oh, yes, indeed. So ETC conference is going to be at right here in the Midwest at Ames, Iowa, at Iowa State University. So October 1st through the 4th of 2024. Save the date.
Yes,
Very
indeed.
cool.
And we may or may not have a major announcement. May or may not be releasing FlexSpace 3.0. I don't know. May or may not be.
Yeah.
May or may not.
We may or may not be announcing Viva Las HETMA for the InfoComm 2024 event. We may or may not be announcing ISE 2025 visit us on the pitch. I don't know. See, they're not breaking at the conference if I say them now. I'm living up to my word.
Again, I'm as always, InfoComm's great, but for those of you who knew what HETMA did last year and what a splash we made, we're taking it next level this
literally
this year.
Literally, yeah.
at InfoComm. So yes. There'll possibly be some never before seen activities going on on the trade show floor. So
hey, it is Vegas, so
Oh, is that like where Kelsey sang Viva Las Vegas? Because that's instantly what came into my head when you said that.
Viva Las HETMA.
Viva Las. And we also, so going back to the conference real quick, we do also like to partner with our other higher ed AV podcasts. Britt is going to be doing one of her Brave Space recordings as well on Friday. So make sure you don't miss out on that as well. And obvious. And usually the Friday is when, I don't say always, you should check in every day for all the fun stuff that we do. And also, before I go any further, don't worry about sitting in on all the things. Come and go as you need. We all know that, you can't necessarily sit at your desk for 8 or 9 hours a day. Now, I mean, some of us do, maybe we
Can I throw a flag on the play?
All right, what did I do?
Okay.
I'm going to throw a flag on that plate. Listen, everybody. What Tim is saying is technically correct. Yeah, come in if you want. Listen, everybody wants to go to conferences. This is your one chance to have a free conference. You go to your boss and you say, listen, let me block out 3 days. You have 0 travel fees. You have 0 food fees. You know what? Maybe they should actually buy your lunch. But you know what? You have no cost for me to attend this, to get with my peers, learn from my peers, connect with my peers. Block out your 3 days. But yes, come and go if you can't do that. But you should go to your boss
Is this
and
like
tell them this
professional
is your opportunity.
self-care?
Yes,
It is.
100%.
Wow.
It's absolutely.
I like it. Professional self-care.
No, but let's be honest right now. Our vice chair, Erin, found this organization by coming to a virtual conference. The entire first couple days, she was camera off. We just saw her name there. I remember sitting on the chair with Jimmy sitting next. This was the virtual conference where we set up, and it was me on the couch and Jimmy on the chair. And I remember looking at her, and she was spurting in and out. And now she's our vice chair, and she is now the Erin apparent, right?
Yep.
This is what happens with our virtual conference, right? This is where lives can get changed by coming to this. We've heard that story over and over. And this, if you are a boss, this is where you have to let your people come because there's 0 cost. You block them out and let them actually connect with their peers, learn, connect, grow, and can, be able to really find out what we can do to improve our vertical and invest in our vertical. And that's the end of my soapbox.
So,
Well,
yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, so there you go. That's all you need to know for our conference. So go to hetma.org right now. Register. Don't register if you're not a member already. Make sure you register to be a member, and also register for the conference. And get involved. Let your voice be heard. We want to hear from you. So let's be there because we're all we've got open ears and ready to go. Murphy, go ahead. What you got?
Let me finish the plug that I was doing dramatically when Joey had to step on it. But as is already discussed a bit earlier in this podcast, you don't have to be part of a higher ed institution to join. This is one of the things I believe that higher ed institutions do is they teach and they invite people in. This is one of those things that I thought I couldn't join. I can. So that is why I joined. I'm like, you know what? I really want to be part of this event. I can't believe I haven't already. I was an old message, an old programming that I was operating off of that, oh, well, it's not really for me. It is. The doors are open wide. Come on in. And let's do this thing.
Yep.
And again, I've already said it 17 times. I'm going to say it one more time. It's completely free. Membership is completely free now and always with HETMA.
Yep. So, a couple other things just to be aware of because we are getting really close to being at the end of our time here. So I brought up one of our manufacturer partners, Aurora, and at this point we've talked about it here on the podcast. There's been press releases, they were gracious enough to donate $6.6 million worth of control equipment to us as HETMA to be able to distribute to universities and institutions that are in need. We have a very simple application that's ready to go. It is out there and live for you to join up with to be able to put in for the equipment. So what we're going to do is that, so on, what is that? That is Wednesday. The Wednesday networking lunch is basically going to be me sitting in a virtual room with whoever wants to come in and join and ask questions, find out more about the program. If you want to know what's going on, like where we are with the process, what the equipment's like, we could talk all about that in that networking lunch. So I will be, and I'll have some folks, I'll have Patty Wanzer on in the back, and she'll be able to answer any of the more Aurora facing side of that. But we want you to feel like that this is all open to you and have it ready to go. Joe, you have a question?
Well, I might have a state.
Okay.
All right. Listen, we're in the higher ed vertical, and everyone always complains. We don't have money. We don't have opportunity to upgrade our stuff. You know what? If you do not put an application in for this, you got to quit complaining. Sorry. You can never again complain that you don't have money or resources to upgrade your rooms, because this is an opportunity with an incredible company like Aurora. And when I was at ISC 2 weeks ago, and we saw what they are now doing with AI programming, the upgrades that are there, what they are doing is amazing. So I'm sorry, if you don't put an application in for this scholarship, you can never again complain that you don't have resources to upgrade your spaces. Period. Sorry.
So, and part of the scholarship not only is the hardware, but it also comes with the training that comes along with it. There's a lot of stuff online, and we also have Chuck Espinosa, who is their lead trainer, at our disposal to be able to get out there and help train your folks in how to maintain and keep the equipment running and to customize it as you need to. When you come for that lunch networking session, you could stay and hear from Paul Harris directly, the CEO of Aurora, as he gives that roadmap information about the things that Joe was just talking about. So you could come and stay. So from 1:30 to 2:30, you can ask questions about the scholarship, and then from 2:30 to 4, you can find out more about what's happening in Aurora. So that is all there for you right there on Wednesday during the conference. The other big thing that we've been very proud of over the years, or the last couple of years, is the PRISM Scholarship. And I know this has been Joe, I know this has been probably one of your biggest pieces that you've absolutely loved over the years. And it's been a great partnership with Avixa to be able to provide this. I will concede my time to you if you would like to talk about this, Joe.
So I was just taking it in. I was going to let you do that, but since you turned over the mic, I will gladly take it. You know what? The PRISM Scholarship is the thing that's dear to me, because this defines our organization. We would not be the organization we are today without being called out for who we were. And no matter what we said, our actions weren't there until we were called out by Caden and said, look, you're claiming to be an inclusive organization, but you are a steering committee of 10 white males, mostly middle-aged white men, and you do something about it. And so we reached out to Avixa and we said, all right, let's figure out what to do. We're going to do something about it. And that's how the PRISM Scholarship came about. And we now give 10 scholarships. Again, 10 white male, 10 scholarships, right? It may or may not be a coincidence. And therefore, we are going to give 10 scholarships every year, and we do every single year, to underrepresented demographics within the AV industry who work in higher ed, in order to build them up and give them the opportunity to learn, to grow, to be mentored, to get certification, and become, everything we need them to be and everything they want to be, right? And that is probably the single greatest thing that I think we've ever done. We did not do this, and I remember sitting there in a conversation. The greatest memory I've ever had was sitting on stage at Infocom, or sitting, I was standing, me, Joey Lloyd, Dave Labuscus, announcing the scholarship. And what the thing is, that day that we did that, I remember I was jumping for joy like I was a 5-year-old child opening up a Christmas present from underneath the tree, because this is what made it real. And not only that, it was the conversations before that saying, look, we were called out and we're going to do something, but it cannot be a token thing. It cannot going to be, we're going to give this, or because you realize we were called out, we could have easily have said, we're going to give $1,000 scholarship next year, blah, blah, blah. And then that would have been the end of it. No, we said, we're going to make something that lasts forever. We named the first one in Corey Schaefer. We have a named scholarship in Caden. And now we are continuing this on. So we have named scholarships for life. We have 8 more that continue along with those 2. And this is the whole point of the whole thing, is to make sure that we can make a difference for those voices who need the opportunity to have the voice that would never have it. And that's what's amazing about HETMA. And though I talked about already earlier with, Aaron stepping up, with how many people have gotten new jobs and opportunities because of this organization. We've seen new partners come on. We had Nareva come on as a part of Platinum Scholarship today, right? We have Bose on our call, who was our second Platinum sponsor of our entire organization. That has always been from the entire inception. These companies would come on and say, look, we believe in what you're doing. And if it weren't for those partners to say, we believe in this, we could not give those opportunities to people who really, really, really need this. And that's what really, that's why I could die today. I hope I don't die today. But I could, because I know this is what happens when people come together with a cause that they believe in, and you step out of your comfort zone and you put your money where your mouth is, and that's what's amazing. So, Tim, you can have your show back, because I will just keep talking. And yeah, don't let me talk about PRISM, because I won't shut up. Because
but I'd rather have that and make sure that, because the passion that you put, now I love it too, don't get me wrong, and I think it's a great, but I know that I can go to you for that, and I know what I'm getting for it. So I knew what I was getting into.
It's and the other thing, it's already proven to be successful, right? We have former PRISM Scholarship recipients who are already extremely active in the organization, getting their names known out in the industry. And I mean, it's just, we're creating leaders in real time. It's fun. I'm, one of the things that the awardees get is a mentor. And so, I've had the joy of having, being able to mentor a couple of these individuals, and they're amazing, right? They're just amazing people. And, it's my honor to be able to interact with them because of who they are, right? And so, it's such an amazing program.
So, and obviously, if you have more questions about that, hetma.org is the place to go for that. You know what? Sign up for the conference, because you're there. So, and then you could come to the conference, find us during one of the networking events, and ask more questions, because we are there for you. So you know what? We're gonna wrap things up here. This has been a wonderful episode. Mike, Joe, I'm bringing you in as a guest, Joe, because you weren't here to introduce yourself as a crew member. So, and it was a HETMA takeover. So really, I'm putting you in that role. So, thank you for joining us tonight, today, this afternoon, whatever you happen to be listening to us. And go to hetma.org for all your information. And until our next adventure.